Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Interesting development, and that is the ex-Wagner commander. If you remember, he fled to Norway a while ago, maybe 2 months ago or so. And then he went to Norway and he started saying some things. And then he applied for asylum, political asylum in Norway. Surprise! He wants to return to Russia. We can only guess why. So let's see what's going on with this little commander who, I don't know if it's going to be a good idea for him to go back to Russia unless there's big problems in Russia and he must return, otherwise things will occur. So if you know what I mean. Let's see what's going on here. So this article comes from Reuters. Ex-Wagner commander who sought asylum in Norway wants to return to Russia. Well. This is from May 17th, 2023. A former commander of Russia's Wagner group who sought asylum in Norway after crossing the Russian-Norwegian border in January said on Wednesday he wanted to return to Russia even though he believed this could pose a risk to his life. You think? So, we'll see if that happens or not. He wanted to return to Russia, even though he believes this could pose a risk. You think? Andrei Medvedev is the son of Dmitry Medvedev, who has previously spoken about his time fighting in Ukraine, said in one of several videos posted on YouTube that he has decided by himself that he wanted to return to his home country. The 26-year-old said he felt like, and I'm quoting, some kind of a boy in a big game, and quote, that he no longer wanted to be part of. And I'm quoting, recently I've decided I'm ready to go back to the Russian Federation. I've contacted the Russian embassy in Oslo for help to facilitate my return, end quote, Medvedev said in one of 5 short videos, adding that he made his decision on his own. He escaped Russia via its Arctic border with Norway in January. He said he crossed through barbed wire fences and evaded a border patrol with dogs, hearing Russian guards firing shots as he ran through a forest and over a frozen river. His story made headlines around the world as a rare example of someone defecting to a Western country while claiming he had fought for the Wagner mercenary group in Ukraine. You know what that is? So this is desertion. If you work for these guys and you're still under contract, I don't know if that would not be considered desertion. After probably he said a few things over there in Norway that he, true or not true, I don't know, I can't verify it, but let's say they were true. He opened his mouth, I'm guaranteeing you, he opened his mouth in a certain way to see if he can appease the possibly new masters. And the new masters did not jump as high as he thought probably they will jump. Therefore, he said, well, I don't know if that was a good idea. He's 26-year-old. You never know. Or I think the other option is something happened in Russia. He must have family in Russia. And he must have, I don't know, girlfriend, wife, children, parents, brothers, sisters, and so on. Well, I know how this used to be in the communist times. I know there was a lot of pressure on the family over there. Now, I don't think he qualifies as a regular guy who just runs away, since he was fighting and he said certain things. I don't think he had any important stuff to report over there to the authorities, you know what I mean, during the interviews. But he might have the Wagner group at home in the Russian Federation give him a few calls or a few texts saying, if you don't come, Misha, home something will happen, you know? So you better hurry up, otherwise it's gonna be Gigi, Mikey, and Tommy, and you're gonna be all right. So I think he's gonna return over there, and he could be held as a hero, because they say, see, he showed those guys from the West that he didn't fit in that little whatever they have over there, so that they could use it as a propaganda thing. Maybe he just doesn't like it over there. It's possible. I have many friends who came to Canada or to United States of America. I know examples who lived here for a while, and I know both sexes in that way, and they returned to Romania. I know actually about 5 families, and I know individuals, actually I know more than 5 now if I think, who returned back home. And not as some of them with money, some of them not really with money. They didn't like it here. Well, I will tell you a little story if we still have time here, personal sharing here, about a university professor in Romania that came to the United States of America, but he did not stay here. He returned, and I spoke with him, and he told me why he returned. Very interesting story. I was surprised. At the time, Medvedev said that he was seeking asylum in Norway because he feared for his life after witnessing the killing of and mistreatment of Russian prisoners recruited by the mercenary group to fight in Ukraine. So he witnessed the killing and mistreatment of Russian prisoners recruited by the mercenary group to fight in Ukraine. He's not going to return to Russia. If he returns to Russia, he's going to be not a live person, I think, after this. In a video published on Wednesday, he said that he would hand in documents tomorrow, and that he believed would help facilitate his return. Maybe it's a blackmail to the Norwegian authorities or who else, who knows what. And I'm quoting, "I hope that I could find peace and calm here, that I could leave all the politics, the war, the army behind, but somehow I couldn't manage," end quote, Medvedev said in Russian. And I'm quoting, "We shall see what would happen in Russia. If they kill me, okay. If they don't, thanks a lot. If I leave, even more thanks." Well, I don't know. He was convicted in April of being involved in a bar fight in Oslo and of carrying an air gun. He told Reuters at the time he was looking to the future, studying Norwegian and hoping to get asylum. Reuters was unable to reach Medvedev via telephone on Wednesday. Well, I don't know. Let's go back to this professor, university professor. He visited, I think, his son. He was in his 60s or something, and maybe early 60s. And he visited his son in California for about 6 months. I think he didn't visit it. He had a scholarship, and he worked here in California as a professor. And then he returned back home to Romania, and I asked him, "Why would you do that?" I was about to show up here, and he said, "Well, there's certain cultural things I didn't like over there." I was like, "Oh my God, how in the hell?" And he said, "Well, I didn't like, it was there were too many restrictions." I was like, "What?" "Yes, too many restrictions, too many rules, too boxed of a society." I said, "What?" I mean, I know the United States is a free country and it's blah, 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 blah. So, "Well, just go to a park over there. And I can tell you, when you go to a park, there's so many rules compared with what we have here that you really, you can't make fire here, you can't take a poop here, you can't take this, you can fuck." He said, "There's too many," obviously he didn't say that, what I said, but he said, "You can't really, you're too," he didn't say too organized, "too restrictive." And he gave me the example going to a park. Okay, well, what do you know? I came here and I realized there are certain things that were true about it, but certain things that were not true. And that gets me to I think it was Plato or Aristotle, who said that, one of these guys, I can't remember exactly where I read this, a long time ago, where he said in one of his writings, a free society cannot be, the freedom of a society could be measured by the number of rules it has. The more rules it has, the more organized it is, regimented, that means the less freedom you have. And I was thinking, yeah. Imagine you go somewhere and you go to a party and it says over there, okay, there's no rules. How free are you? You're 100% free, right? I'm philosophically talking, nothing about, committing crimes, even that, Let's say You're left on an island, and you say, "Oh, hey, you can do whatever you want on the island. Phew, you're free." Well, let's say. But then they say, "Well, you can go on the island, but you can't go on the left side of the island because on the left side, I don't know, it rains or something." Already, it's a limitation. You can go on the, it's a limitation. Part of your liberty from freedom was already limited. And I say, okay, you can't sleep more than 9 o'clock a.m. Again, a limitation. What if I want to sleep whenever I want? Another limitation. Well, you can't walk left or right on this, let's say, sidewalk. You have to walk only on the sidewalk. Well, what if I want? Well, it will be punishments. So I gave you 3 things that are, don't walk on the other side of the island, it's raining, and the other one, don't sleep later than 9 o'clock a.m. And the other one, don't walk away from this little path here, sidewalk, let's put it this way. So it's 3 limitations versus the other one, it was full. You say, well, maybe it's needed. Yeah, it's a regulation. It's good. It's good, but still you got limited. So something like this I encounter here where certain things are too regimented. I'm here, I'm good. Otherwise, I'll be with the other weasels. But here, I'm with these weasels. These different kind of weasels. But this is going like this, unfortunately, because rules and regulations are mostly a tyrannical inclination of certain kind of people. And if you have a government that gets inside of everything you got and wants to get deeper in your life, that's not good. Doesn't show good. So anyway, this is the guy. I don't know if I think that if he goes back to Russia, things will happen to him. Or he's going to go back and say, well, you know what, I came back. And he's going to say the same story he said over there. Like probably, taking a poo-poo on Norway and those in the West to save his skin. But I don't know how he will save his skin if he already said all kind of things about Wagner. Very dangerous situation. Well, we'll find out. I suspect he's not going to go back, but we'll see. I give him, obviously, a possibility, 100%, probability. Let's make it 20% he goes back. Why? Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. They will harm him.